The first sound was not thunder. It was a hammer against wood, a steady rhythm carrying down a valley loud with people who had forgotten how to listen. The sky still looked ordinary the day Noah set the last beam, but mud slicked the ground under so many feet, and the smell of pitch hung like a warning. He ran his palm along the plank where the measurements met, 300 cubits long, 50 wide, 30 high. A box built for weather no one had ever seen, stabled and storeroomed by command, sealed to ride out a verdict. This did not begin with wood. It began with a charge sheet. The story told around the cook fires had grown hard. Violence in the alleys, men taking what they wanted, a culture where every intention of the thoughts of the heart bent toward evil all day long. Noah lived inside that noise and would not join it. When the word came, it was simple and hard. The earth was corrupt and filled with violence. God would make an end of all flesh, make an ark, bring in your household, keep seed alive. The instructions read like a blueprint. Go for wood, rooms, lower, second and third decks, pitch inside and out, food for the journey, animals after their kinds. Noah built under a bright sky. He measured and pegged, lifted beams with ropes and patience, and sealed each seam until the wood shone. Neighbors stood at the edge of the yard and laughed in the polite way that turns sharp when a man refuses the town's wisdom. Children threw pebbles to watch them skitter down the hull. Even those who meant no harm walked away shaking their heads, sure that life would go on because it always had. Noah kept working. Family kept pace. Shem, Ham, and Japheth raising stanchions and partitions, their wives sorting sacks and jars, all of them learning the weight of obedience cut to size. Then the animals came in a pattern that startled even men who knew fields and flocks. Hooves on packed dirt, wings like sudden shadows, nervous eyes and warm breath. The clean beasts in greater number, the unclean in twos. His sons marked a ledger by torchlight, guiding them through the low door, each space built to hold a kind. Water jars lined the passages, grain sacks stacked tight. When the last grain eater moved into its stall and the birds settled, the family waited in a sound that did not yet have a name. The timing was precise. In the 600th year of Noah's life, 2nd month, 17th day, the fountains of the great deep burst and the windows of the heavens opened. Rain did not begin as a sprinkle. It came all at once, a pounding that made the deck ring. Underfoot, the ground let go, the ark slid, and then floated on water that rose over furrows and fences, and then over groves and houses. Outside, the noise shifted from voices to debris. The sons checked lashings and hatches. Noah counted by days because nothing else made sense. 40 days the rain fell. When it stopped, the waters still prevailed. For 150 days they held the world level and blank. Then a wind moved over the water, and the ark of the story bent down. The ark came to rest in the mountains of Ararat, a name like a compass more than a single peak. Noah unbarred a window and sent out a raven, a hard bird content to circle and land nowhere. After that he sent a dove. It came back because it found no place to set down. 7 days later he sent the dove again. This time it returned with a freshly plucked olive leaf, a sign small enough to fit in a palm and large enough to change the room. After another 7, the dove went and did not return. In the 601st year of Noah's life, 1st day of the 1st month, the waters were dried from the earth. He lifted the covering and saw ground raw and new. Not until the 2nd month, 27th day, did the land stand dry enough to bear weight. Then the word that had shut him in called him out. Bring out your family. Bring out every living thing with you, that they may abound and be fruitful on the earth. They walked down a ramp to air that smelled of wet clay and sun on plank. Noah built the first altar on that ground and took of every clean animal and bird for burnt offerings. smoke lifted in a straight column. The Lord said in his heart he would never again curse the ground because of man. Though the heart is bent toward evil from youth, the steady things would continue. Seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. He blessed Noah and his sons. Be fruitful and multiply. Fear of you will be on every beast. You may eat moving things now as well as green plants, but you may not eat blood, for life is in it. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in his image. Then came the sign people point to after storms. God set a bow in the cloud, the arc of a weapon turned away from the earth, and made it a reminder for himself as much as for men. Never again would floodwaters destroy all flesh. The covenant named the whole creation, every living creature, every generation. Each time the bow appeared, he would remember. The family began the long work of ordinary life. Timbers dried. Vines climbed the hill behind their tents. Noah planted a vineyard, the old man doing a new thing because survival is not only about bread. Sometimes it is about a taste that makes labor gentler. When the wine came ready, he drank and lay uncovered in his tent. It was a small failure, and it became larger when Ham saw and turned the seeing into talk. Shem and Japheth took a garment on their shoulders, walked backward and covered their father. When Noah woke and learned what had been done, he spoke blessings and a curse, placing weight on the way sons carried honor. A word fell on Canaan, and it carried forward over Shem and Japheth, a hard edge at the end of a long mercy. The case file of the flood reads like a logbook. Before, the earth filled with violence, every intention twisted. During, dates stamped to the day, 2nd month, 17th day, 40 days of rain, 150 days of prevailing water, 7th month, 17th day, the ark at rest, doves sent by sevens. After, 1st month, 1st day, ground seen, 2nd month, 27th, ground dry, disembarkation, altar, covenant, rainbow, laws about blood and life, the beginning of nations from 3 brothers on a clean ridge. Yet the human cost sits inside the facts. Think of the silence after they walked down the ramp. No neighbors, no elders to ask about pruning or planting dates, no market to visit for salt and news. Only the work of naming again, planting again, teaching children the calendar again without the old cousins at the feast. The ark, which had once held every noise of life, stood empty while the family learned to sleep without the thud of hooves and the constant wing noise above their heads. You can stand in that emptiness with them if you read slowly. The covenant was mercy, but mercy did not erase consequences. Noah carried the responsibility that came with survival, and it cracked in his hands. His sons learned that covering shame is an act of honor in a world that would need honor to stand. The bow in the clouds did not mean storms would vanish. It meant judgment was bound by promise. The water would not erase the world again. People would have to choose what to make of what remained. This is the shape of the record. A world gone violent, one household warned, an ark to specification, animals preserved for sacrifice and seed, a flood marked by dates and soundings, a landing, an altar, a covenant written in color, and then the fragile beginning of ordinary days. The crime was real. So was the rescue. The ending is not a triumphal shout, but a family stepping onto ground that keeps no footprints yet. They begin again because beginning again is what survivors are asked to do. Thank you for listening to Divine Crime. Subscribe for more true stories from the most dangerous book ever written.